Hi, everybody, and welcome to Lila and Naomi's Year of Expansion, call number 10. And this week we are going to continue the conversation that we started a few episodes ago about expansion when life happens. And, when life involves other people. So, Naomi, do you want to start, or do you want me to start with my massage table?
Sure. So what brought this about, and it's actually a really beautiful pairing of a couple of conversations we've had. One has been on judgment. We've talked a lot about judgment in the past, as well as the whole continuing to expand when life shows up. Because today we really want to talk about, as Lila was saying, especially when it involves other people. So how I posed it to her, we all have our days. I don't care how woke you are. I don't care how enlightened you are, et cetera, et cetera. We all still have emotions and feelings and stuff comes up, right? Some of us just weather it differently at different times in our lives. And so my question to Lila was, what do you do? How do you continue expanding when you want to throat punch someone? So sometimes this is how our conversations start, because we just get really blunt, because it's like, I want to throw things against the wall and watch them shatter, Can you do that and expand at the same time? So that was how the conversation started. For me, this week, we both have scenarios that are unfolding where we have the opportunity to look at that question. And for me, it has shown up because there are some people who have said that they're going to do things, have committed to things, and they're flaking. And that drives me a little, it's a little crazy making for me. And it makes me want to throat punch people. Whereas Lila's situation is a little bit different. But it still involves people. So say a little bit about that.
I've got a lot of frustrations happening. Just want to throw people. I am shopping for a massage table. I was gifted a massage table for Christmas in the form of, hey, go find you a massage table and put it on the credit card. Okay, great. So I'm finally ready to buy a massage table. I have decided on a brand. It is sold out every freaking where. My friend gives me this website. I've been to the website a few times. I go, and this particular brand is on the site having a special deal. It's over $100 off. It's not just the table. It's also the carry bag and a bolster and the whole shebang. And I order. And I get free expedited shipping. I'm super excited. I'm going to have a table by Friday. I could maybe have clients on Saturday. This would be amazing. The company calls me and says, I'm sorry, but those are all sold out. Excuse me, what? Why are they still on your website? It's been 24 hours, by the way, and the listing is still on their website. I'm
kind of made you want to throat punch somebody.
Throw massage tables at people, So
want to throat punch whoever manages their website, throat punch the guy who called, throat punch the universe, throat punch them all. Right?
Yeah, especially the universe.
Yeah.
And so what has been showing up for me that does not thrill Naomi at all is around instance number 3 of this table that you have decided that you are having is not available. I started whipping out my tools and asking, okay, so what's right about this I'm not getting? And
just so you all know, the reason I don't like it is it annoys me, not because I don't like it for her, or because I think it's the wrong question for her to ask. It's really the perfect question, and my inner 5-year-old crosses her arms and scowls. That's what it is about that question. And we'll have more on that in a moment. But yes, go back to that, Lila.
And I have to say, I had a PTSD flashback. I'm like, this is house shopping all over again. Everything that I wanted was like, oh, it's not available. Oh, somebody just signed a lease on that, but I'll show it to you anyways. I don't want to see it.
Let me take this really pretty thing in front of you that's all sparkly and wonderful, and then tell you can't have it. How many ways could that freaking show up in your life, right?
So yesterday, when I get this message and I have this PTSD flashback, I went instantly to, I don't have to recreate that, and I don't have to choose that. Like, it does not have to take me months to find a massage table the way it took me ages to find this house. And this house is amazing for us. It is actually better, I think, than the other houses and condos that I was in love with. There is a lot of space. It feels good, like the space itself feels good. So it ended up being this was what's right about not finding the house that we wanted when we, like not deciding on a house before this one. This house is what was right about it. I didn't see it in the process of it. I was just like, ah!
Can we not freaking find a house already? Yeah.
I'm sick of doing this. It's been 18 months. I just don't want to anymore. So
there were moments of expansion in the midst of.
There were lots of moments of expansion. I learned a lot. I grew. I started to see early on with the massage table shopping that, like, okay, this feels like that. What else can I choose?
Mm-hmm. I love that.
I had decided that it had to be this particular brand because that particular brand was most likely to be affordable. And then it was recommended that I look on like Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. And of course, I've already done that. But then today, after processing and asking some more questions, like what else is possible that I haven't even thought of? I go on Craigslist and there is an Oakworks table that is for sale for like $120. Those tables start in the 300s. So I'm like, ooh, maybe. And it's local, so I'm not paying shipping. I can go and pick it up. I can actually touch it before I buy it. Like, all of this is appealing to me. So having the tools and like actually using them, I think is where the expansion happens. And sometimes you have to feel the feels of, I want to throat punch these people who have this stupid listing on their website that I can't get. I have the thing, I see the thing, I can pay for the thing's not available. What do you mean? So,
and hours later, the link is still there and it's still unavailable. And so I can definitely understand the desire to throat punch. Fix your effing website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when it comes to people saying, oh my God, that sounds amazing, I want it, and then not actually clicking buy or handing over their credit card when it comes to you, what gets triggered when I say, okay, so what's right about that you're not getting?
Initially, it's just, I effing hate that question. But as you were talking about it for your own scenario, and I'm like, okay, how does that apply? There becomes a question of, is this the right path for me to be taking this particular event?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and I get to step back and look at and ask, am I trying to fit a square peg in a round hole?
Yes, always with the square pegs and the round holes.
Often for me, I'm bound and determined. We can make this work. The other aspect of it is what's right about it is it's getting me to look at what are some of the old patterns that maybe were not serving me, that didn't allow for expansion, that didn't allow for growth, that didn't allow for ease, that didn't allow for, and where is it a mirror, and where else is it showing up? What's right about this has me looking at so many things. What's right about this is this may be the right path for me to have this workshop and this relationship with this speaker who's coming in. And it may be that the relationship needs to evolve before, and I might need to evolve before we embark on it.
Yeah, I can see that too. I would like to offer you an additional question as well.
I would love to hear it.
What else is possible here that I hadn't even thought of? And for
crabby 5-year-old is still very active because she's like, people could just effing do what they say they're going to do and fucking click the sign up button.
Just click the button.
Right? If you say you're going to register, just register already. For the love of all things holy.
For the people who are listening, that maybe you're new to this conversation, and particularly this conversation with me, we are not actually looking for logical answers. The asking of the question creates an energetic opening, which allows us to choose something different in the future. So here I am, very bound and determined that I'm getting this particular massage table or something far better. And if I hadn't asked, okay, so what else is possible here that I hadn't even thought of, I would just be stalking my Amazon page, waiting for that table to become available again.
Right.
Under $600.
Right. And if I approach it from a logical space, I'm just waiting for people to click the registration button.
Yeah.
Right?
But
so what else is possible here? What else is possible is, great, we regroup and we actually create a plan of action that creates a different end result. And when and I'm talking about myself and this particular speaker, that's possible. What's possible is, you know what, we table it for now, and there's some things evolving in my own business that maybe they need to evolve first. I don't know. What else is possible? What else is possible is that there's so much. Now, from this particular experience, what I recognize in asking that is part of me is a fear of loss.
Would you like to say more about that?
Sure. What else is possible here? When I think, well, what else is possible is when I look at, maybe it's not I don't know, is this the right path? Maybe it's not. What else is possible? What else is possible? Go do something else is one thing that shows up.
Yeah.
That it's not about doing this workshop. It's not about doing this class. But there's a panic in there because there's the potential for loss of respect. There's a potential for loss of friendship. There's a potential for loss of community. So I'm recognizing that the fear, and this is where what's right about this is a beautiful thing, because this is one of those old patterns that I'm getting to see, where square peg round hole is that fear, which is the old reaction, is that energetically, instead of moving me towards what's truly possible, having me staying stuck in the fear of what isn't looking the way I think it's supposed to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's pretty deep.
It all made sense in my head.
It made sense to my ears. But, we talk a lot, so it may just make sense to the two of us. If you're listening and it doesn't make sense to you, let us know.
Huh?
We'll try to clarify it in the comments.
Huh?
Yeah. But no, that makes perfect sense to me because I'm really good at getting, fixated on a thing. This particular brand of massage table, or this particular path, or my business has to be run this particular way. And when I think outside of the box, if I had, had these tools 11 years ago, I may have gotten far more creative with raising my kiddos myself versus putting them in daycare. And I may have been able to do it more in the way that I wanted to if I wasn't just insisting that it look this way or that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, what other community is available to you if there is indeed a loss of community from this decision? Or what expansion could you experience in the current community?
Mm-hmm.
That's also a possibility.
Yeah, and staying stuck in the fear aspect blocks all the possibility, whatever that possibility is. Truly. What else is possible? If I'm tethered, because that's how it's showing up visually for me, is being tethered to that fear of what if. Tethered to, but I might. But what if?
Yeah.
And it's like that, it's the story of the elephant who is chained to the stump all of its life with the circus.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually the chain is removed, and yet the elephant still doesn't move any further than the circumference of the circle that chain reached, because it still thinks it's tethered.
Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do with this new information?
Well, I'm going to refrain from throat punching anyone.
I don't
because
think
it's really
we look good in prison.
No,
no matter what the color
is. Orange. Oh my God, orange is a terrible color on me. Reasons to stay out of jail. Not because it's wrong, but what I did was wrong. It's because I look bad in that color. So now you know what motivates me. It's helped me. This conversation's helped me really look at it, because it always is. What about this is about me? As much as I might want to throat punch other people, it gives me an opportunity to look at where am I being flaky in my own life.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really amusing about that, in a slightly annoying way, is by me allowing other people's flakiness to be an issue, I end up looking and possibly then being flaky, because I'm going to have to cancel this booking for this speaker. So how ironic is that? And I can point the finger, but it's because nobody else signed up. But really, what about this is about me? What about the fear is about me? It's all what about this is about me. And that's where the expansion gets to occur.
So I have two new questions. How much time do we have? So it came up when you said, what about this is about me? I will always go to the energetics of things. We will always make whatever physical choices we're going to make But what I
Mm-hmm.
know from my 23 years of personal development adventuring is that when our energy is in alignment with our end goal, then it's easier to make physical choices that align with that end goal. So, what energy am I being that's creating this?
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, what energy can I be to create the results that you're after? So, like, what energy can I be to create a full event or people honoring their word or massage tables being available when they say they're available?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What comes up for you with that question?
Well, part of it is what the first thing that came up was I'm going to use the need word. I
Mm-hmm.
need to, but I also get to. I want to sit this afternoon with really looking at, is this the right place and space for me
Mm-hmm.
to be?
Yeah.
Is this the right alignment? Is this the right individual? Is this the right move for myself personally and in my business? It
Mm-hmm.
looks good on paper. Is it the right and perfect action for myself at this time? Is it in alignment?
I love that.
The other piece of it is I'm recognizing, first of all, just having this spot cut off of my face. Energetically, a lot has shifted just in this last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious how, if this workshop were another 6 weeks out instead of in a week,
Mm-hmm.
what that would shift for me, because I feel like I'm come out of hiding in a way.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
And so,
perfect.
right, because if I'm hiding, who's going to sign up? Nobody, right?
Right. Because even if they see you, they can't really see you.
Right. And if I'm hesitating because I'm only half in, because I'm unwilling to be seen, if I'm feeling less than, it, all of that energetically, if we're talking from an energetic standpoint, has to have been being projected out. Has to,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So this gives me an opportunity to look at, okay, so who do I need to be? What energy do I need to be for it to be a full class? It feels like there has been a shift in that. Is it a big
Well,
enough
that's
shift?
pretty yummy.
Right? Is it a big enough shift to have the class filled in 3 days? I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Well, let me know when you decide whether or not you're going to find
Right?
out.
Right? Well, and what comes up when I say that is you won't know till you try.
Mm.
Then it becomes, and you and I talked a little bit about this right before my procedure, is there may be different actions that I need to take than I have taken in the past.
Mm-hmm.
New habits I have to develop, and this might be one of those times.
Mm-hmm. So, can you, for people who learn like I do, with like visceral stories, can you talk about the newness would be in this instance?
In this instance, the newness would be it's interesting because there's two pieces that I see, and they're very opposing pieces. I have a tendency to hang on to things until they have passed their prime.
Mm-hmm.
But typically when that's the case, they are also things that I have spent, I've done everything in my power to shove that square peg in that round hole. Everything. And it's like, I think of my last corporate job. I stayed in that position long after it should have been done, and I should have left that company. And I wasn't listening to the nudges because I was bound and determined to make it work. I was committed to making it work. And finally the universe said, oh my God, you're not getting it, are you? Fine, we're going to lay you off. Dang it.
She's a slow learner.
Oh, there are instances. And so that's one piece of it. It's like, that's where I get to look at, am I trying to fit a square peg in a round hole? The other side of it is am I listening to the signs? So that's part of it. But the other thing, and this I think shows up a little stronger, is what are you willing to do to not quit and to actually see something through and make it happen no matter what? The hell or high water, over, under, around, or through something to make it happen.
Okay. I dig that.
For me though, my commitment to that would need to be with ease, because that would be a big difference too, because otherwise it would just be nothing but sheer stress for the next 3 days of get it filled.
I was going to say, what I know about you is you seem to be very above and beyond, and like, dude, no, really, drink some water, stop it. And you're like, I will hydrate while I make this happen. So yeah, that would definitely be a change.
Well, and I can tell you that if come Friday it's not filled, or at least 75% filled, so that the following week we can get the rest in, I would at least feel like, you know what, that's the expansion. I was willing to do things differently. I was willing to show up differently. And I think that's when we're talking expansion. Sometimes in my head, I don't know about anybody else who's listening, sometimes in my head I think expansion has to be this big, explosive, major, huge thing, whereas sometimes expansion is just those small shifts and the cumulative effect.
Okay. I agree. It's that's what it has been for me the entire time, mostly. I think there have been some things that have been like massive, like when I got on the vitamin D and the B complex at the same time, and was like, what have I been doing with my life until this moment?
Right.
But almost everything else has been very incremental. So I agree. So it sounds like what you do, or how you expand when you want to throat punch people, is to use your tools.
Oh my God.
Use your tools, phone a friend, call one of your coaches and healing artists like me and Naomi.
Use your tools. What a crazy concept, man.
Whatever you do, do not punch random people maybe not anybody. I'm like random people.
I was going to say, not even non-random people.
Like there are some people who it's acceptable to punch in the throat. Insert baby daddies here. I'm human, y'all.
Well, I'm thinking in a mugging situation, go ahead and throat punch that person. People who just simply aren't doing what you want them to do, maybe not be appropriate. It is not socially acceptable behavior.
what is wrong with society? Anyway,
Right.
um, that's really that's really all I have. I think that that is like deliciously fantastic wisdom. Look at other angles
What
of
else is possible?
whatever is frustrating you. Yeah,
Yeah.
ask what else is possible. Ask what's
What
right
about this
about
is
this I'm not
right?
getting.
Oh.
Especially if you are wanting to throat punch people, ask about what about this is about me?
Yeah.
That's a hard one,
Oh
especially
yeah.
when you know you're right. This is a future story. But when I separated from my first husband, um, God put me in a situation where I was looking at myself in a mirror, like seeing my actions and behaviors in another person.
Mhm.
And I found myself texting my ex husband, like, I owe you an apology. Not because my actions affected his actions. This is just me taking responsibility for my part in the breakdown of our marriage. And I had some parts, and I wouldn't have even known if I hadn't been slapped smack in that situation. But here I was up
Mhm.
on my unicorn, feeling all well deserving of my judgmental high mightiness. And the universe was like, no.
We're gonna show you a little picture here.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and
So,
that's
what
just it.
about this is
Anytime
about
we're
me?
yeah. Anytime we're triggered, anytime we're frustrated, anytime we want to throat punch somebody, great. What about that is about me? Well, F.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because there's always some tidbit of it, whether it's that there is some aspect of that behavior that you exhibit in your life currently. Maybe it's behavior you used to exhibit and you really didn't like that version of yourself. Maybe it's that, but there's always a piece about you in there when there's frustration. So it's a great place, and it's a great place to have that mirror held up. Do it with gentleness,
Mhm.
not with judgment for yourself. Gentleness doesn't mean
No.
let yourself off the hook and say, oh, see, it's not really about me. Gentleness is you don't go, oh, God, see, I'm such an idiot. I'm such a slime ball. I can't believe what a dick I am. Ugh, it's not about that.
No. It's more, oh, I do this. Okay, maybe that's not serving me. Maybe it would be better if I did something different, chose something
Yeah,
different, tried a different angle, get a
it gives
crowbar.
you access to then ask, right, pry that sucker off. Then it gives you the access to then look at what else is possible. What do I want instead?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I want instead? I want this class filled with people who want to be there. I want this class filled with people who are wanting to learn and grow themselves and their business. I want this to be filled with people who actually show up when they say they're going to show up. So maybe it's okay to let the flaky people fall away.
Mhm.
Well, there's a concept.
Mhm. Who haven't
So
I
maybe
talked
this is an
to
opportunity,
that I could talk
right?
to that would be
Yeah.
interested?
Who can I follow up with who has said, oh my gosh, that sounds really great, fantastic, and have them bring 3 friends? you know?
Yes. Bring
Because
your
if I had 7 people who brought 3 friends, well, my God, we would have that classroom full.
friends are full.
So, ta-da! So this is helping because it's helping me to see possibility, and that's where the expansion is what else is possible, and am I willing to do something different?
Mhm. Okay, so I love this. Now, how did you feel at the start of our conversation?
I felt heavy, frustrated, defeated, mad, just mad, just mad.
And how do you feel now?
Feel pretty fucking awesome. Can I say that on our call? Because I do.
You can. Yes, you're allowed. I'll put
In
a
that case,
disclaimer.
I feel pretty fucking awesome because I see what I can do. It doesn't mean, oh my God, yes, we're going to fill the class. There is some of that there, and it's like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, there are so many places for me to dig into and to look at and to work and to do differently, and ahas of, oh my God, I've been chasing flaky people. Well, guess what gets to
Mhm.
stop now? I got to
Yeah.
stop chasing flaky people because I don't got time for that shit. You want to be flaky? There are other people out there who will deal with your crap. When you're done being flaky, then you come talk to me. I'm unavailable for that. It's awesome. Yeah. I feel fabulous. This is a great call. You two
Enter
people
the
can
commercial.
Feel awesome. Right?
So this is what typically happens when Naomi and I get on a conversation with each other, even if nothing's wrong. Even if it's just like, hey, how's your day? Oh my God, now I even feel even more fucking amazing than I felt before we got on the phone, and nothing was even wrong. But especially if you're feeling heavy and frustrated and angry and wanting to punch people in the throat, you may want to call one of us or both of us.
Right?
We will together. We can get you from wanting to commit assault to feeling fucking amazing.
It may or may not, disclaimer, it may or may not happen in one call, but it might. It could. But yes, if you're afraid that pretty soon you're going to be donning an orange jumpsuit, there are other options. Trust me. What else is possible?
Ever. I feel like Naomi maybe downplay. I don't know. It might not happen in one conversation, but I've had conversations with her, and she's pretty amazing. So I'm just saying.
And vice versa. Yeah. Depends on are you really willing to play full out and let go?
Mm-hmm. That's it. There is that. So true.
Yeah. If you are, then absolutely. Amazing stuff can shift in one call.
So,
how are you feeling about the whole table situation?
Oh, I still want to call that dude and be like, so you guys obviously need somebody to manage your back end, but the frustration of, oh my God, this is house shopping all over again has lifted. Because I was definitely in that spiral of, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? Because I found a table on Amazon last night, but I was in the middle of doing 1,000 things when I found it, so I didn't order it immediately while it wasn't with me. Credit card wasn't on hand. Went this morning and it was sold, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So, yeah, that happened. But I know that I will get the right and perfect table at the right and perfect time. And in the meantime, I will just host a bunch of healing happy hours virtually, and people can come and they can have cards pulled and they can have laser coaching, and it will be amazing. Yeah. So
perfect.
I'm feeling pretty great.
And calling the guy may be a piece of expansion. Because if you let the energy of I want to throat punch you go, if you can do it if it can be done in the spirit of, I'm a fellow business owner. I get it. There's a lot of hats. Crap can fall through the cracks. I got resources that can help you. Are you open to the coaching?
Absolutely.
Are you open to? Because who knows? Maybe it would be like the perfect thing. Oh my God, yeah, we need somebody. Do you know someone? Well, ta-da. That's a possibility. It's what intention and energy do you take to that conversation? If you're still wanting to throat punch, maybe want to rethink it. But if that energy's gone, maybe you're doing them the biggest favor ever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the energy is definitely no longer a throat punch energy.
Yep. Check yourself. Right? Awesome. So what do you have for the people?
Use your tools. I'm going to be like a skipped record here. Use your tools. Ask for questions. Questions change things. What's right about this? What about this is about me? And what else is possible? Especially what else is possible. And when you get that nudge of like, oh, I asked what else is possible, now I have the urge to go for a walk and grab an ice cream, please go. Because there is a reason you got that nudge. Maybe you're going to meet somebody at the ice cream shop that's your next client that has the solution, but you didn't know that before you asked the question. What about you?
Yep.
What do you got for the people?
I'm gonna echo what you said. Use your tools. Ask yourself the questions. If you're having a challenging time seeing past, what about this is right, and all you get is nothing. If you're having a difficult time, post in the comments. Hit one of us up or both of us up by private message if you'd rather. Because sometimes, especially if it's the first time you're trying on those questions, they can feel like, a weird, fun house with all the weird mirrors and nothing quite looks right, and you have no idea how to get out to the other end. And we're here to help.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. We will talk with you next week.
Bye.